Welcome to this tutorial for Rodeo Ticket. Today I'm going to show you how to customize your ticketing page. So you'll start by logging into your account, and then you'll see your rodeo. Of course, the English rodeo is our fake demo rodeo that we use for tutorials like this one. So we're gonna go ahead and select that one. And then from the sidebar menu, you're gonna go to Edit Ticketing, and then Edit Form. All right, you'll see your basic form here. You can adjust the background color here and the foreground color here. You can click here to upload your logo or to change it. And then if we go to settings, you can enable your background image. And right now I have it selected to match registration. But if I wanted to upload a different image that was unique, I could do that. Or if I wanted to match my sponsor sales page, I could do that too. I'm going to leave it matching registration for now. And then you'll notice the next thing I have here is the form opacity settings. So if I change that to 100, you'll notice that now this doesn't have any transparency at all. It's fully opaque. So I liked it with more transparency, so I'm just going to go back to 60 here. If I want to disable my logo, I can disable it here. I can customize the maximum number of ticket tiles per row I have. Right now I have it set to 4, but I could change it to 3 if I wanted to. One other new handy feature we have is the order countdown clock. So this, when someone has started a ticket order, it counts down how much time they have before the tickets are released and available for someone else to buy. So you can have that enabled, or you can disable it if you would like. But it's a nice way to keep your ticket sales going and encourage people to commit to their ticket purchase decision. All right, and then the last thing here is if you wanted to, you could upload a banner. Okay, let's exit out of settings for a minute so you can kind of look at what our settings did. So we changed the ticket tile number to 3. So now we've got 3 here, and that's what that looks like. We've got the logo here. We talked about that already. You can see with the opacity now I'm getting that the straw hat, the rope, and the cowboy boots in the background. So that's really nice. If I wanted to edit this ticket tile, I can click on it. I can add a new image here if I wanted to. I can customize what the positioning is on what shows up on that ticket tile. So that's nice. If I wanted to, I could even update the tile color. And then of course I can also disable the photo. I'm just going to go ahead and close without saving here. On some of these tiles, if I wanted to, I could just have a different tile color. So maybe if we go like a gold orange, you could have that be the tile color if I wanted. And that's what that looks like. If I wanted to rearrange the order here, so maybe since these sales are done, since they're closed, maybe I want those tiles in a different order. So I'm going to hover over until I see this, the moving icon, and then I can move these closed events down. So that way, what people see when they land on my page, on the ticketing page for the first time, is all of the events that they can buy tickets to. So that's some nice customization there. All right, that's what we have on this page for design. So let's go back to settings. There are some just ticket sales settings you can adjust here. You can have people verify their email. So that just means that they're going to put their email in twice. And that helps you ensure that you're sending all of the tickets and event information to the right place. You can also mitigate orphan seats. So if you turn this on, our system will stop orders that create unnecessary orphan seats. So that's really nice, and it can make it easier for you to sell out. And then if you have sent invoices for tickets, but they haven't paid yet, so the event is sold out as people finish those invoices, you can have those in progress orders count for sellout. So, the ticketing event will say sold out instead of people opening it and then not seeing any available tickets because you still have some in progress orders. So that can make a better experience for people as they're looking for tickets online. The other settings we have here can help you mitigate chargeback from scalping. So you can limit the number of tickets in a cart per order. So here I have that set as 2. So I can only buy 2 tickets at a time in any order. I can get a ticket from 1 ticket from 2 event times, and then that's the maximum here. If I want to, I can also set a limit for tickets by time, or I can have this be blank and then move this to be 2. So that way people can buy 2 tickets per event time. So their overall order might end up being like 8 tickets, but they're only getting 2 tickets per event time in this example. And then if you want to ask about text alerts, I have that currently enabled, but you can disable that. That just lets you send people text notifications. But in order to send people text notifications, you need to have it enabled, which it currently is. And then in some cases, you might have events that are like 21 plus, maybe for your beer garden section, or maybe you have different pricing for children. So you can verify for those tickets. So you can verify that age and name for everyone, or you can just do it by event time, or you can do it by specific price types. But that's just a nice way to make sure that the beer garden tickets are only going to 21 and up. And it can help prevent, it can make your ticket scanning process a little bit more efficient and easier. Okay, and then for grouped event times, now if you don't have grouped event times, you won't see these options. I do have grouped event times, so that's why they're showing up. If I want to, I can have all of the event times clustered in one calendar. I'll just check that box here. I can have the calendar enlarged on the purchase page. I can opt not to skip the sold out days. And then I can kind of select how I want the flow to work. If I want to show single event times or skip the single time selection, or if I want to hide the single event times. So you can customize that as you want. All right, so that's what's in settings. The last thing you can do on your page is add questions. So you'll see I've been in here already and I've added some questions already. I could go back and edit those questions. So we've got that. If I wanted to add a sub question, I could. And then this eye icon tells me when it was created. I can move the order of the questions, so that's nice. Tells me when it was created and who created it. And then if I wanted to add a question, I can click this button here. And then would like you to choose. All right, and then I can add a question by clicking this button here. We've got several pre-filled questions and that makes it easy for you, so you can get emergency contact details if you need to. You can get information about how people heard about your rodeo. You can ask them what their company name is. You can also create your own question. And so we have a couple of different options. So you can have a drop-down question, a radio question, a checkbox. You can have some open-ended questions, so like a single line or a multi-line. And then you can also create drop-downs where attendees can add their own choices to the drop-down. So let's do a question, and maybe we're gonna have some t-shirts that people can opt into. So and then I can go ahead and add all of the options here. All right, and then if I click show advanced, maybe I'm gonna charge for the shirt, and I can put in a size, I can put in a dollar amount here. If my inventory is unlimited, I can leave this checked, or if I'm only offering a certain number of these, I can put that limit here. So maybe I only have 9 extra smalls. And then if I want people to know how many are left, I can say, I can show them how many are left, and that can help people be like, oh, I got to get this registration done, or I got to get this ticket order in. Right. So that's an option. Since it is optional, we can go ahead and put no shirt here. And then we can, yeah. And then once I'm happy with how these settings look, I'm going to scroll down. I can decide if the question is required. I can ask it for each ticket in an order. So maybe I do want to do that in this case, if I'm giving a shirt to if I want to get shirts to every person who has a ticket here. Or if I just want to ask it for one in the order. And then I can opt to show individual answers publicly. I can show this on the app during check-in. I can select a default answer. And then if it applies to all event times, or if it's only for specific event times. So, maybe it's all sections for Bulls Night that I'm having this offer, for example. I can set that and customize it. I can even do it to like specific sections. Maybe it's only part of my VIP section. So that's handy, that you can kind of customize and narrow it down like that. If I wanted to add a little bit more information about sizing, so maybe we'll put sizing, and then we can say that they run big, and then somebody be like, oh well, maybe I'm usually a medium, but maybe I'll get a small since they run big. And that can help people just make better decisions as they're filling out these questions. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and hit save. And then we've got our t-shirt size question here. All right, that's everything you can do on ticketing. Let's go ahead and look at what it looks like, what it will look like for your attendees. So we're gonna go back to the dashboard. And then I'm going to click website links. And then we will click this link icon by ticket purchase. All right, so you can see that we've got my tiles ordered. I could probably go back and make this tile look a little bit nicer. But that's what that looks like. And then I'll select the family night tickets. We'll add those. Oh, and then you can see that my cart limit for the event time has been reached. And then I can put in my address, and then check out. Now we've got some questions here. You can see that they're coming through here. Some of these questions, like the phone number and phone carrier, they are being asked per ticket. And then the company name and how did you hear about this event, that's just being asked on one ticket. It's being asked for the whole order. And then you'll notice that the t-shirt question didn't come through because we opted to only show that on the Bulls night questions. And then you'll notice that my countdown clock here is going, and that's how much time I have left to complete this order. So yeah, that is how your ticketing page will work. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one. So yeah, that's how you can adjust settings on your ticketing page. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good one.